Imagine this. It's the late 1960s in California, a time of peace, love, music, and the rise of a new culture. The world is watching America, with San Francisco as a beating heart of freedom and change. But in the middle of this golden dream, a shadow was growing, a shadow that would terrify not just California, but the entire United States. A shadow given a name that still chills people to this day: the Zodiac Killer. Before we dive into this haunting story, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to Gang Stories. This is where we uncover the darkest true crime stories, the mysteries that stay with you long after the video ends. The story begins on a quiet night, December 20th, 1968. Two teenagers, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, went out for what was supposed to be a simple date. They drove to a secluded area in Vallejo, a place couples often went to for privacy. But what was meant to be an innocent night of young love turned into a nightmare. A stranger appeared, approached their car, and without warning, pulled out a gun. Shots rang out in the silence of the night. David was shot in the head at point-blank range. Betty Lou tried to run, but collapsed after being shot 5 times in the back. The ground was stained with young dreams, and the killer vanished into the darkness. At first, police thought it was a random act of violence, but it wasn't. It was only the beginning. Fast forward to July 4th, 1969, Independence Day. While fireworks filled the skies, a different kind of terror struck. Darlene Ferrin and Mike Majou were sitting in a parked car in Vallejo when a man with a flashlight approached. Without hesitation, he fired multiple times into the car. Darlene was killed instantly, while Mike barely survived with critical injuries. But here's the chilling part. That same night, the Vallejo Police Department received a phone call. A calm voice on the line said, "I want to report a double murder. If you go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway, you will find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye." The voice hung up. No panic, no emotion, just cold certainty. The police realized they were dealing with someone who wasn't just a killer, he was someone who wanted to be known. And then came the letters. On July 31st, 1969, 3 nearly identical letters arrived at 3 different newspapers: the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald. Each letter claimed responsibility for the murders and contained a strange coded message, 408 characters long. The writer demanded the ciphers be printed on the front page of the newspapers, or, he warned, "I will go on a killing rampage." The press was shocked. The police were stunned. Was this real? Was someone taunting them? The newspapers printed the ciphers, and within days, a school teacher and his wife cracked it. But the solution was disturbing. It read, "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest, because man is the most dangerous animal of all." The writer didn't sign his name. Instead, he left a strange crosshair symbol, a circle with a cross through it. From that moment on, he became known as the Zodiac. The Zodiac wasn't just killing, he was performing. And he had an audience, the entire state of California. September 27th, 1969, Lake Berryessa. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were relaxing by the water, enjoying the sunshine. Suddenly, a man appeared wearing a bizarre black hood with sunglasses and the Zodiac symbol stitched on his chest. He tied them up and brutally stabbed them. Brian survived, but Cecilia didn't. The killer then calmly walked to Brian's car and with a black marker wrote on the door, "Vallejo, 12/20/68, 7/4/69, September 27th, 69, by knife." He was literally signing his crimes. Just 2 weeks later, on October 11th, 1969, a cab driver named Paul Stein was murdered in San Francisco. At first, police thought it was a robbery gone wrong. But then the San Francisco Chronicle received another letter. Inside was a piece of Paul Stein's bloody shirt. There was no doubt. The Zodiac had struck again. By now, fear was everywhere. Parents kept their kids inside. Lovers avoided secluded roads. Newspapers published every new letter. The Zodiac was no longer just a murderer. He was a phantom, a boogeyman who could be anywhere. And yet, he wasn't done. The letters grew darker, filled with threats to kill school children, bombs that never appeared, and ciphers that still remain unsolved to this day. His words mocked the police. He played with the press. He knew exactly how to keep America in suspense. But who was he? And how could someone so visible, so loud, still remain invisible? By late 1969, the Zodiac was no longer just a name in the papers. He was a presence. Every household in Northern California knew him. Parents whispered about him in fear. Police officers carried extra weapons, expecting he might attack at any moment. And yet the killer thrived in this atmosphere. The more fear he spread, the more powerful he became. His letters kept arriving, each one stranger than the last. He sent ciphers that to this day remain unsolved, including the infamous 340 cipher, a page filled with symbols and codes that stumped even the FBI for decades. He taunted the police, writing things like, "I like to see people die. It gives me the most thrilling experience, better than getting your rocks off with a girl." The Zodiac also began threatening school buses. In one chilling letter, he wrote, "School children make nice targets. I shall blow up a school bus some morning, then just pick off the kiddies as they come bouncing out." Parents panicked. Some followed their kids' buses in cars. Police escorts trailed buses on their routes. And still, the Zodiac remained a ghost. Detectives pored over evidence. Handwriting experts analyzed every letter. But the killer was always a step ahead. He never left fingerprints. He never left usable DNA. He knew how to vanish. And then came the suspects. One man above all stood out: Arthur Lee Allen. Allen was a troubled man, a convicted child molester. He lived near the crime scenes. He owned a Zodiac-style watch with the exact crosshair symbol on it. He even told friends that he wanted to kill people and called himself Zodiac. When police searched his trailer, they found disturbing evidence: bloody knives, strange writings, and tapes of violent fantasies. But there was a problem. The handwriting didn't match. His fingerprints didn't match. And DNA samples later taken from Zodiac's letters didn't match either. To this day, Arthur Lee Allen remains the prime suspect who was never convicted. But he wasn't the only one. Over the decades, dozens of names surfaced: teachers, ex-cons, even police officers. Some say Zodiac could have been more than one person. Others believe he was a highly intelligent man who blended perfectly into society. What makes the Zodiac case so haunting isn't just the murders, it's the mystery. Unlike other serial killers who were eventually caught, Zodiac disappeared. His last confirmed letter was in 1974 when he wrote to the San Francisco Chronicle, mocking moviegoers who watched The Exorcist, calling it the best satirical comedy. After that, silence. Did he stop killing? Did he die? Or did he simply change his identity and continue somewhere else? Nobody knows. Even today, investigators, amateur detectives, and internet sleuths obsess over his ciphers. In fact, in 2020, over 50 years later, an international team of codebreakers finally cracked one of Zodiac's most famous unsolved messages, the 340 cipher. The solution revealed more chilling words. "I hope you are having lots of fun trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber, because it will send me to paradise all the sooner, because I now have enough slaves to work for me." He wasn't seeking money. He wasn't seeking revenge. He wanted immortality through fear. And in a twisted way, he achieved it. The Zodiac Killer has become a legend, almost a ghost story passed down through generations. He killed at least 5 people. He claimed to have killed 37. The truth may never be known. But his shadow still lingers over California. His letters, preserved in archives, still scream with arrogance. His ciphers, some still unsolved, dare us to keep playing his game. And every time someone asks, who was the Zodiac, he wins again. Because maybe that's what he wanted all along. Not to be caught, not to be punished, but to be remembered. And that's the terrifying legacy of the Zodiac Killer. a man who turned murder into theater, who made the entire world his audience, and who walked away, unseen, unknown, and unstoppable. If you want more chilling true crime stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to Gang Stories, because the past is filled with mysteries, and we're here to uncover them one story at a time.